The morning it all started, I was out in the wheat field, the golden stalks swaying in the summer breeze, when I heard the distant growl of an engine and the unmistakable clatter of machinery. At first, I thought it was one of my workers starting early, but then I saw the bright green of a John Deere tractor rolling straight across my property line. And behind it, that familiar figure in a floppy sun hat and oversized sunglasses. Karen, the self-appointed president of the HOA, was back at it again. I waved my arms, shouting, "Hey, you're on private land." But she either didn't hear me or chose not to. The tractor kept grinding forward, flattening rows of my wheat like a tank through tall grass. My stomach twisted. That crop represented months of labor, soil turned by hand, seeds planted in precise rows, irrigation set up to perfection, and she was destroying it without a second thought. I sprinted toward her, boots kicking up dust. When I got close enough, I saw the smirk on her face. "You can't grow this here," she said over the rumble of the tractor. "It's unsightly and violates community landscape codes." I could barely believe what I was hearing. "Landscape codes," I barked. "This isn't a subdivision lawn, Karen. It's a working wheat field." She folded her arms like I'd just spoken nonsense. "The HOA decided it looks too industrial. We're filing for removal." I laughed, but it wasn't from humor. It was disbelief. "You filed nothing," I said. "You're trespassing and vandalizing private agricultural land." She scoffed, gesturing at the tractor driver. "John Deere's company handles all our landscaping contracts. You'll get an invoice for cleanup." I looked at the man behind the wheel, just a contractor doing his job, probably thinking this was some routine maintenance, and held up my hand. "Cut the engine," I yelled. "Now." He hesitated until I pulled out my phone, the camera already recording. "You keep going," I warned, "and you're both going to be on the evening news." He stopped. Karen stormed up to me, jabbing a finger at my chest. "You can't talk to our contractors like that," she snapped. "Your attitude's the reason this community's going downhill." I stared at her for a moment, taking a slow breath to keep my temper in check. "Karen," I said evenly, "you just cost me $10,000 in crop damage. You'd better hope your HOA insurance is ready for a lawsuit." She laughed, that sharp little laugh that always meant she thought she'd won. "You can't sue an HOA president personally. We're protected." I smiled. "Good thing I'm not suing you as a farmer. I'm suing you as a lawyer." Her face went pale. "You're a what?" she said. "A lawyer," I replied, pulling a business card from my wallet. Not that I practiced anymore, but once you've been a trial attorney, the instinct never leaves you. "And not just that," I added, "but I spent 6 years training Green Berets on legal rights and property defense." That part was true too. A little detail she definitely hadn't expected. I took a step closer, lowering my voice. "You really want to go to court with me over this?" For once, she didn't have a snappy comeback. She just turned, waved at the contractor to leave, and muttered something about miscommunication, but the damage was done. That night, I sent the video to my insurance adjuster, the sheriff's department, and the local agricultural board. Within 24 hours, the footage was everywhere. Karen, shouting about unsightly wheat fields, while a tractor mowed down crops on private land. The public outcry was instant. Even her own HOA members were furious. Turns out, a few of them bought their bread from a local bakery that used my wheat. The sheriff came by 2 days later. "She's in trouble," he said, flipping open his notebook. "You've got a solid case for destruction of property." I handed him a folder with the footage, receipts, and a printed copy of the property boundary map. "Press every charge you can," I said. "She's been crossing lines for months." When he asked if I wanted to settle, I told him no. This time, she was going to learn what boundaries meant. And she did. The county fined her personally for trespassing and ordered the HOA to pay restitution for the destroyed crops. But that wasn't even the worst of it for her. The John Deere company filed its own complaint after realizing she'd lied about having authority to hire them for community maintenance. Within a week, she was out as president, her reputation shredded across every HOA Facebook group in the county. I didn't need to gloat. The truth did it for me. My wheat grew back stronger than ever that season, and when harvest time came, I invited the local news crew to film the golden fields swaying under the sun. Back to normal, I told them, smiling for the camera. Turns out, justice grows best in fertile soil. Karen never came near my property again. Last I heard, she'd moved out of the neighborhood entirely, muttering something about rural bullies and ungrateful farmers. Funny thing, though, she left behind a garden that nobody touches. The HOA still pays me monthly rent for part of their community utilities, and every time I cash that check, I think of that tractor and her smug face. The land remembers what you do to it, and so do I. Out here, respect isn't written in a rulebook. It's earned in sweat and soil. And when someone like Karen tries to trample that, well, she learns the hard way that not all fields are hers to claim.